Greetings, welcome, Swagatam, Jai Hind. The main question I want to raise in this video is a very strange question perhaps to most of you, because that question is not being raised by anyone else to the best of my knowledge. The question is as follows: who can rescue the BJP from Arnab GOSWAMI? Sometimes it happens that the worst liability of a party is its most sycophantic supporter. And in that description, there is none that rivals Arnab GOSWAMI as of today. Now, in order to give you a context for this very strange question, I have to share with you a very short video. I'll only play the first 4 minutes. After that, I'll offer you some very pertinent comments and analysis of the various aspects and implications of this very strange and extremely Goswami-like substance is dishing out to modern India, where there are people with some thinking capacity, whereas he assumes that he alone exercises monopoly over the functions of India's brain. So here we are, Arnab GOSWAMI in full flow.
Retirement age. In 3 years, he will be 2 years or 2.5 years, he will be a senior citizen. That dirty, disgusting, vulgar behavior that he has carried out today. And he went on stage and did some kind of a play acting with Sandeep Dixit. Sandeep Dixit is also about 60 years old. Two nearly 60-year-old men. Two nearly 60-year-old men, one 60, one or 2 years younger, hug each other on stage and make sexist comments on the Italian Prime Minister Meloni. And Rahul Gandhi, who thinks he has to find a way of appealing to Gen Z because he's feeling left out, his language gets worse and worse. And then Sandeep Dixit asks him, "Did you hug me because you thought I was Meloni?" And then these two middle-aged men, senior citizens, have a dirty laugh about it.
Imagine the ignorance. Foreign policy. एक चीज पूछ सकता हूँ? हाँ. मेलोनी समझ के तो नहीं पकड़ा था.
It's like two dirty old men making a sexist joke. What kind of behavior is this? It's not cute anymore. Rahul Gandhi, you are a senior citizen, almost a senior citizen now. How to behave like this? It's a disgrace that you are a leader of the opposition. Absolute damn disgrace. But it is not his first time. Rahul Gandhi is essentially a sexist. That's why he once made a disgraceful comment on Nirmala Sitharaman. He said कि एक आदमी जो कहता है 56 इंच है, वो एक महिला से कहता है. He asks a woman, Nirmala Sitharaman, कि आप मेरी रक्षा कीजिए. Straight translation being that a man who claims to have a 56-inch chest asks a woman, and he is a kind of absolutely 100% sexist remark that is made out there. That you have to ask a woman to protect you. So you look down on women. People like Rahul Gandhi are like those radical Maulanas who look down on women, who say triple talaq is okay, who say nikah halal is okay. In the name of the Muslim vote, we must allow everything. But there is a behavioral issue also with Rahul Gandhi. Blowing kisses, winking. And as he grows older and older and older, it gets progressively worse. 15 years back, he would go and hug the Prime Minister. Now, at the age of almost 58, he makes dirty jokes about Meloni. Ladies and gentlemen,
So you have a flavor of Arnab GOSWAMI's very serious problems with Rahul Gandhi's interaction with young people in a particular session, the exact details of which are not available to me. They are not perhaps so important. Now let's look at the factual content that Arnab Goswami relies on. First of all, clearly Arnab Goswami thinks that if he can unleash some very strong and abusive words, he can paralyze the brain of India into paralysis, and therefore after that, they will simply open their mouth and lap up what he's saying. In technical language, pardon me, in technical language, this is called damning people with words. You have no ideas with which you can damn people, so what you do is you pelt them with words. That's called damning people, or damning your adversary with words, or killing them with words. And Arnab Goswami thinks that he is a past master in this, and he therefore gives full play to his native genius. The second point to notice here is this. He repeatedly hammers the idea that Rahul Gandhi is now 56 years old. He is correct. Rahul Gandhi is exactly 56 years old. Then he goes on to say that soon he will be a senior citizen. Another 4 more years, he'll be a senior citizen. And then he says that because in 4 years' time, prospectively, he will be a senior citizen, it is utterly unbearable to see this man going around indulging in, according to Arnab's words, in the dirty, disgusting, vulgar behavior of hugging people. And the only instance we have before us is Rahul Gandhi on the stage hugging Sandeep Dixit. So he says that is, I'm quoting his words, it's dirty, it's disgusting, it's vulgar behavior. But Arnab Goswami very cleverly and conveniently forgets the fact that this is precisely what the Prime Minister of the country is doing all over the world. You tell me what is more disgusting. The sight of Rahul Gandhi hugging Sandeep Dixit, or the spectacle of Modi hugging Donald Trump, which is a more aesthetically pleasing sight. 2, 3 Narendra Modis cannot completely hug Donald Trump. It's an exercise in the ridiculous, in the absurd. And at any rate, when Modi hugs Trump, if you watch Trump's face somewhat attentively, you will find that Trump expresses his disapproval of it, his discomfort with it, his contempt of it in a very, very unmistakable manner. And you've seen umpteen videos in which our Prime Minister is extending his hand to shake the hands of this global leader or that. They all bypass him. Now, that is precisely why it hurts Arnab Goswami as the representative or the mouthpiece of the BJP. It hurts him to the quick that Rahul Gandhi is putting up on the stage a mimicry of what the Prime Minister is doing overseas. And this is particularly remarkable because you have never seen the Prime Minister hugging any Indian. In the last 12 years as Prime Minister, have you ever seen Narendra Modi as the Prime Minister of India hugging any Indian, even members of his own party? Think of a venerable old leader like L.K. Advani, or another leader like Murali Manohar Joshi. Both of them very, very dignified and distinguished elder colleagues of his. Have you ever seen Narendra Modi hugging any one of them? Never. He goes around hugging everybody else, and each one of them makes it very clear that they're very uncomfortable with it. And this is the reason why when Rahul Gandhi mimics it on the stage, it hurts BJP to the quick, and as BJP's custodian and gatekeeper, Arnab Goswami feels deeply hurt. Therefore, he tries to intimidate Rahul Gandhi and damn and discredit him by using words like dirty, disgusting, vulgar behavior. So then he says, he calls it play acting. Actually, Arnab Goswami, if he cares for the English language, must learn to use the right words. What Rahul Gandhi was putting up on the stage was not play acting. It's correctly called mimicry, 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 mimicry. Mimicry is a recognized, well accepted rhetorical attack. Paucity of time does not allow me to give you the full context, the historical rationale for it and all that. I leave that to you. So, what Rahul Gandhi was doing, and in this case with the aid of Sandeep Dixit, the son of Sheila Dixit, who was for 15 years the chief minister of Delhi. It was during her tenure that the Delhi Minorities Commission was established, and I had the privilege to be on the provisional commission that created the bill that subsequently became the act under which the Delhi Minorities Commission was formed. I was appointed to the first commission, I was appointed to the second commission. So I know this whole situation like the palm of my hand. So Sandeep Dixit, Sheila Dixit's son, and by the way, he is 61 years old. You must remember the age, 61 years old. Rahul Gandhi is 56, Sandeep Dixit is 61 years old, and Pawan Khera is 58 years old. So their ages become very relevant to our discussion. So what we see in this video is Rahul Gandhi hugging Sandeep Dixit. And clearly it is meant to mimic, and mimicry always has the intent of ridiculing. You mimic in order to ridicule. So Rahul Gandhi was clearly ridiculing our foreign policy. You've heard of ping pong diplomacy, and now you have hug diplomacy. This is the change. So the next grievance that Arnab Goswami presents to the world, at least to the Indian audience, is that Rahul Gandhi passed sexist comments on the Italian Prime Minister Meloni. Now, certainly a reference was made. It was not Rahul Gandhi, it is Sandeep Dixit. It's typical of Sandeep. I know the chap very well, because it's very typical of Sandeep Dixit to have brought it up. Rahul Gandhi on his own wouldn't have. And the clipping itself is the evidence for it. It is something that I myself do not like. So I have to make that very clear. Now, the point is this. Arnab Goswami knows, and all of us know, that the publishing of the very embarrassing video clipping in which Modi is seen with Meloni, Modi offering Melody chocolates to her and both trying to sort of act a little cooey about it, is quite cheap, quite embarrassing. There's no question about it. And it has attracted a mountain of satirical response from the Gen Z. So it's a very touchy issue. So when Sandeep Dixit brought it up just like that, surely it hurt the BJP as well as Arnab Goswami to the quick. Now, I have a few questions to raise. There are other things in this video. I'm not going to take up all of them because then time will get out of hand. My job here is not to criticize this person or that person. My job here is to think with you. Because I believe that the most fundamental duty in a democratic society is to think, and think on the basis of truth and reason, so that our humanity is not corroded, poisoned, and killed gradually over time. Now, I have a few questions to raise. Let's consider those questions together. First, is mimicry, what Rahul Gandhi was putting up on the stage, is mimicry a valid form of art? There is absolutely no question about it. It's not only valid, it is a very valued and respectable form of art. The second question to raise is indulging in mimicry as a rhetorical attack keeping with or in tune with the dignity of the leader of the opposition? That is the issue. I have no doubt at all that mimicry as a rhetorical device, by the way, by rhetorical device I mean any device which is used to persuade and convince your audience. They are all called rhetorical device. For example, if you use a story to illustrate your point, it's a rhetorical device. If you use a piece of humor, like Pilu Modi used to, or even Lalu Prasad Yadav often used to, then that's a rhetorical device. Anything that you deploy, everything that you use in order to persuade the people listening to you of your point of view, that's a rhetorical device. So mimicry is certainly a very powerful and well accepted, legitimate rhetorical device. And therefore, it is absolutely right for the leader of the opposition, for the prime minister, for anyone to use mimicry as a rhetorical device. In fact, I have seen Narendra Modi using it whenever it suited the situation. The second point is this. The second question that comes to my mind is mimicry age barred? Because in this video, Arnab Goswami is repeatedly harping on Rahul Gandhi's age. That he's already 56, and in a few years' time, he'll be a senior citizen. And given that, how can he do this kind of thing? If he were 51 years old or 53 years old, which is Arnab Goswami's age, please remember Arnab Goswami is 53 years old. So if Rahul Gandhi were 53 years old, it would have been perfectly all right for him to indulge in mimicry. But he's now 56 years old. In 4 years' time, he'll be a retired man. He'll be a senior citizen. Then how can he indulge in mimicry? That's a wonderful logic. So he objects not to the fact that two men hug each other, but the two men who are about to retire hug each other in public. If they were younger, it would have been all right. So, according to Arnab Goswami, it's very vulgar for two men, one 56 years old and the other 61 years old, to hug each other on the stage. What Arnab Goswami does not realize is that his argument damns Narendra Modi a million times more than it damns Rahul Gandhi, because every man or all the men that Narendra Modi has been seen all over the world going around and hugging were much older than Sandeep Dixit. And Narendra Modi himself is much older than Rahul Gandhi. Narendra Modi is my age, exactly my age. Rahul Gandhi is 23 years younger than me. So it's all right for Narendra Modi to go around hugging men of every age, every clime, every country, irrespective of any bar. But if Rahul Gandhi does it in India, it is a great shame. Now, only the likes of Arnab Goswami and the Andhabhakts will buy this argument. I can't imagine an argument more self-insulting, more stupid, more brainless than this. Third, is it Arnab Goswami's point that two Indian men should not hug each other, and that it is okay for an Indian to hug only foreign men? I mean, we have been taking pride, at least Modi has been taking pride in the fact that he goes around and he has the freedom to hug all the foreign VIPs. They're all men, barring Meloni. That's a separate issue. So that is considered to be a foreign policy masterstroke. So two men, one Indian, one foreign, hugging each other is a masterstroke in foreign policy. But if two men within India hug each other, it is dirty, indecent, vulgar behavior. Now, very sound logic, no? Wonderful logic. We have to derive such logic from Arnab Goswami because you will not get it from any other source. Now, let me make the fourth point. Did what Rahul act out on the stage with Sandeep Dixit amount to a sexist joke? That is, after Rahul Gandhi hugged Sandeep Dixit and they separated, suddenly a thought occurs to Sandeep Dixit. He comes back, grabs the mic, and of course, with Rahul's permission, asks the question, did you hug me thinking that I am Meloni? Obviously, it's a snide remark. There's no question about it. And it is not particularly in good taste. And I don't appreciate such things, but it's up to him. You look at the social media, it is overflowing with comments of this kind. The social media has been celebrating Modi's rendezvous with Meloni, offering Melody chocolates for the last so many weeks. And nothing has generated more satirical and contemptuous response from the youth of India than this particular episode. That may also be the reason why, when this is a reference is made to it from a public podium, it hurts the BJP and its henchmen all the more. So that is the fourth issue. The fifth issue. See, ultimately, the question boils down to this. Is there any scope for criticizing our foreign policy? Because what Rahul Gandhi was doing on the stage was not sort of doing some sexist gymnastics. He was simply saying that our foreign policy, despite all the drama that the Prime Minister is acting out, is an abysmal failure. It's an absolute disaster. Now, is there any scope? Is there anything about our foreign policy that needs to be criticized? This is a fundamental practical question. The question of any real substance is this. Does our foreign policy as of now attract necessary, responsible criticism? This is the issue. Now, I leave it to you. The second question that comes up related to the same issue is it all right for the leader of the opposition to criticize our foreign policy? If the leader of the opposition cannot criticize our foreign policy, who else can? What then is the job of the leader of the opposition? To serve as a sycophant to the ruling dispensation, to serve as a courtier to the king? What do you think is the function of the leader of the opposition? If he doesn't criticize the foreign policy failures, if there are failures, it's up to you to decide whether there are failures or not. Who else will? It's very strange that Arnab GOSWAMI thinks that Rahul Gandhi did something absolutely objectionable in mimicking the foreign policy failure in order to make it more real and palpable to the audience. Do you agree with it? Would any man of sense, any human being of sense agree with it? You have to judge something by its results. I mean, I'm talking about foreign policy for a brief minute. How do you judge something? You judge something by its results. For example, you judge a tree by its fruits. What about our foreign policy? I'll only say two things. We have never in our history, in the post-independent history, we have never been so completely isolated. Just go back to the Operation Sindoor period. Out of the nearly 200 countries in the world, 195 to be precise, how many nations of the world stood with us? There was only Afghanistan. Only Afghanistan, remember. That's how pathetic our foreign policy situation is. Secondly, never before in our history has our country been so easily overpowered by foreign nations. I'll give you illustrations. One, how was the decision to introduce E20 petrol in India made? Very secretively, surreptitiously, overnight, without notifying it. It's almost like secretly thrusting it on us. Why? Because if what Arvind Kejriwal accuses in public is right, it's never been refuted. It has never been refuted by the BJP or its spokesperson. India was forced by Trump to buy or import ethanol from the US. The Indian government did not have the backbone to say no to it. The interest of the Indian car owner, car user has been compromised. Serious problems are reported about how engines are failing, how mileage is dropping, etc., etc. So, our government is unable to protect the interests of the Indian consumer. That's one instance. Second thing, a lot of noise was made about the Foreign Contributions Amendment Act, Foreign Contributions Regulations Act Amendment, FCRA Amendment. The government was very earnest about it. There was absolutely no doubt about it, but very quickly the government on its own decided to refer it to a JPC. That is to say, it pushed it off the table. Why? Because pressure was exerted from the United States of America phone calls came. Or think of Operation Sindoor itself. Even today, as citizens, we do not know whether India was forced to stop the operation because Trump intervened. We do not know. I'm not saying that India collapsed or India decided to fold up because Trump pressurized. But this is in the public domain. And the uncertainty about this has still not been dispelled. The government has not come clean about it. One thing we all know, after Operation Sindoor, neither the BJP nor the Modi nor Amit Shah. Do you remember Amit Shah used to say with great emphasis that in a short span of time, Pakistan occupied Kashmir will be part of India? You've never heard him say that after Operation Sindoor. You've never heard Prime Minister Modi utter the word Pakistan in any political context pertaining to elections in India thereafter. That tells its own story. So, for all the image makeover, image building that has been attempted, spending crores and crores of rupees, the image of India overseas remains at its weakest, at its weakest at the present time. Okay, so is our foreign policy a great success or is it a failure? I leave that to you to decide. Now, Arnab comes to a conclusion, and I'm going to quote him. He says, it is a disgrace that Rahul Gandhi is the leader of the opposition. That is something that he feels very strongly about without ever bothering whether or not the people of India will endorse that point of view. He comes to an arbitrary decision, he thrusts it upon the rest of us, thinking that we have no option but to swallow whatever he manufactures. Does an objective, non-partisan Indian really feel today that Rahul Gandhi as the leader of the opposition is an absolute disgrace? I don't. Rather, I feel that he is the right leader of the opposition at the present time. If anyone, including Arnab, wants to debate this with me, I'm more than willing. So, when you consider Arnab Goswami's damning judgment or Rahul Gandhi as leader of the opposition and the facts that he himself relies on, you cannot miss the striking mismatch between facts and the biased conclusion that Arnab Goswami arrives at. On the basis of the facts that he is considering, he cannot come to a conclusion that Rahul Gandhi is an absolute failure and a disgrace as the leader of the opposition. So, what are the facts? Number one, what are the facts that we need to consider in this context? Now, I'm going to think independently of Arnab Goswami. Number one, Narendra Modi is the absolutely decisive asset that the BJP has. The whole party depends entirely on him. Remove him from the BJP setup, BJP will be reduced to zero. So he is the absolute treasure. Point number two. Of late, the sarcasm and satire against Modi has intensified. His image is in serious danger, which actually means that this can seriously endanger BJP's electoral prospects, particularly in 2029. Point number two. In the meanwhile, and correspondingly, Rahul Gandhi's appeal and popularity are increasing by leaps and bounds. Just look at some of the opinion polls, which clearly indicate their findings are not discussed in mainline news channels, but we know from social media that many of the opinion surveys or the polls now indicate that Rahul Gandhi's popularity is rising very fast, and today it is outstripping the popularity of Narendra Modi. So there is a need to discredit Rahul Gandhi by any means, fair or foul. There is no way Modi's image can be either repaired or refurbished. It has already peaked. The glory of his image has already peaked, and now it can only decline. And the decline seems to be rather fast. So the only thing left as a strategy with the BJP and as their barking dog, Arnab Goswami, is to discredit Rahul Gandhi as the desperate drowning man clasping the last straw in front of him. So we should not be surprised that orchestrated efforts will be made to manufacture grievances against Rahul Gandhi. The only manufacture now that seems to be doing well in India is the manufacture of grievances. So our GDP, gross domestic product, in grievance generation will skyrocket. Grievances will be generated even out of nothing, and this is a clear instance. So now think of another example. Rahul Gandhi, Arnab GOSWAMI takes serious exception to Rahul Gandhi's statement about the 56-inch chappan-inch chestwala trying to hide behind Nirmala Sitharaman, or expecting Nirmala Sitharaman to defend him. So what he says is, a man who claims to be of 56-inch chest asks a woman to defend him. And then, having referred to this, is a fact, it happened in the parliament. It can't be denied. Having cited this, Arnab GOSWAMI, in his characteristic fashion, gives a sledgehammer commentary, absolutely sexist statement by Rahul. This is not what Rahul has invented, this is what actually happened in the parliament. Rahul, of course, made a reference to it, giving it the kind of twist that he thought was politically correct. Let me ask you, what is more sexist? Saying that Modi sought Nirmala Sitharaman's help, or that Rahul insulted Modi by alleging that a man sought help or protection from a woman? Which is more sexist? To artificially create and inflate the offense, Arnab then equates Rahul with radical Maulanas. So this situation, this episode is nothing in itself. So this is a clever trick. So in order to add offense to it, what does he do? He then immediately compares Rahul to radical Maulanas who look down upon women. So Rahul is Congress's Maulana who looks down on women. Whether it is Rahul or somebody else, is well in the public knowledge, and I don't have to spend time on this. I'm very clear about this. The second is truly sexist, and the first is not. So finally, Arnab clinches the issue for the BJP by alleging there is a behavioral issue with Rahul. You would notice that if you see the clip, you'll see that there's a behavioral issue with Rahul. He winks, he blows kisses, he hugged the Prime Minister. Some 12 years ago, he hugged the Prime Minister. Just imagine. And two Indians, Rahul hugging the Prime Minister. Such an offense. You remember at that time, it was decried nationally. How can Rahul Gandhi hug the Prime Minister? The Prime Minister can hug anyone outside, provided he is a foreigner, particularly a white-skinned man. But Rahul cannot and should not hug Modi. And Rahul also made dirty jokes about Melody. He did not. It's a misrepresentation of facts. It was Sandeep Dixit who did so. And he also says that Rahul is a person of low intellect. The whole country knows who are persons so low intellect. Finally, I have to, because of my literature background, I have to share a word about mimicry and satire. It's a historical fact that mimicry and satire mushroom and gain wide popularity among the people when freedom of expression is suppressed. In any society where freedom of expression is suppressed, you will find the rhetorical device of satire and mimicry gaining tremendous popularity. So satire and mimicry are the rhetorical pinpricks to burst the balloon of fear by ridiculing the pretensions of the Orwellian Big Brother. The Big Brother. In a George Orwell's novel, 1984, the Big Brother is watching. So satire is the pinprick that administers the prick to the balloon of the Big Brother, and the balloon goes fat. So it's a very, very respected, well-recognized literary rhetorical device. The goal is to prove that beyond his pretensions, the Superman of divine origin is a mediocre, incompetent, and ineffective person like all of us. Modi may claim to be a man of divine origin, but when we look at him, We are all easily convinced that he is like any one of us. In this light, Modi's own pretensions will discredit him. Image makeover then will become more and more counterproductive. It will be like repeatedly painting a cardboard figure. So BJP will do well by itself by realizing that the more they inflict their baselessly formed grievances on the public, the more they inflict their viewpoint on others, assuming that the people of India have no brain to understand reality for themselves, the more they will discredit themselves in public. Now note this finally. Arnab Goswami has clearly become a liability to the BJP, even if the BJP does not realize it. He is no longer an asset to the BJP. For example, in this short video, Arnab seeks to damn Rahul Gandhi, Sandeep Dixit and Pawan Khera by emphasizing that they are about to retire. What does Arnab Goswami think of retirement and the retired people? The elderly people in this country, those who are leading a life of retirement, please heed my words. As a retired person, I feel deeply offended. Clearly, Arnab Goswami thinks that the moment a person retires, he becomes absolutely useless. He loses all his capacity to think. He cannot understand reality. He must lose all his freedom. He must not come into any physical contact with anybody. He must just retire to a corner and lick his wounds there. He becomes a useless lump of flesh. That's his idea of retired life. So as a retired person, I feel deeply offended. That's the main reason why I'm doing this video. It is not an age. It's not their age, but it's the retirement that damns them in Arnab Goswami's eyes. What is Arnab's idea of retirement? Does retirement rob all citizens of their rights? Does retirement rob citizens of their life? Is a retired person a dead body or what? So this is very offensive, deeply offensive. I request the BJP, if it cares for itself, to heed this. This is deeply offensive to every old person, every retired person, every person above the age of 60. It is an insufferable insult. Goswami is 53 years old, as I told you. Rahul Gandhi is just 3 years older than him. Sandeep Dixit is 61. Pawan Khera is 58. Arnab can spout out, act out any drama he likes because he is only 53. There is no limit to his freedom. He can do whatever he wants. He can sit and spout nonsense because he is only 53. But Rahul Gandhi should shut up because he is 56. Very good logic, no? So, Rahul, Pawan and Sandeep Dixit must go into one bus because they are slightly older than him. It takes an Arnab Goswami to say this, right? Well, we don't expect rationality from Arnab Goswami anymore. But a national political party like the BJP should not attract, day after day, avoidable ridicule to itself by relying on characters like Arnab Goswami, who is now widely called in the social media Cowswami. Well, I don't endorse these epithets, but what I'm saying is just an indication to BJP that relying on Arnab Goswami will be counterproductive to the interests of the party. Jai Hind.